I'm gonna just get up and just walk a little bit so you folks can see what I'm kind of going through. This is what I'm dealing with as far as pain. And this is what I'm dealing with as far as walking goes. I mean, I literally cannot walk. Okay. Yeah, it's painful, and you know, this is now before the surgery, so we'll see what happens after the surgery. Just want you guys to see what I'm going through. Take care. Hi everybody, my name is Ray, and I'm here. I just basically want to put this little video together to talk to people about what I'm going through right now, which is actually 3 different conditions. The first problem that I'm having is the cause of it all, which is a herniated disc in my lower back, the L4, L5 disc. Second problem is that this creates a pinched nerve, so there's a pinched nerve. And the third problem is sciatica, which is the pinched nerve is creating pressure on the sciatic nerve, and it gives you a tremendous amount of pain down your leg, either your left leg, your right leg, or both legs. It just depends on what side of the nerve is being affected. In my case, it's the left leg. My pain started about 5 months ago in July. Right now, it's November. I started with a lower back pain. I don't know how it happened. I lifted something. I don't know really where that lower back pain came from, but one morning I woke up and I just couldn't get out of bed. Couldn't put on my sock, couldn't put on my shoes, and couldn't sit, couldn't stand, and it was just difficult to walk. But I was walking fine, getting around. It was you know, more or less, it wasn't a big problem. Now here I am 5 months later, and it's become a big problem. I literally cannot walk, period. I mean, I walk 10 feet and I'm in agony. Unless I'm on medication or I have pills or I have something, you know, I just cannot walk. So it's been a very difficult struggle for me these last 5 months. Right now, today is Wednesday, November 27th. Tomorrow's Thanksgiving, Thursday, Thanksgiving. And Friday, they just called me a few minutes ago, the hospital. I'm getting surgery on my lower back to remove the herniated disc. That's where I'm at right now. That's my level of pain, and that's the situation I'm in. The more pressure I get on that disc, on that nerve can become, it can fail. It can, you know, lose total feeling on that nerve, and it'll become a bigger problem down the road. So the doctors feel that I have to get the surgery done. And the reason I'm posting this is, I want to introduce myself, to tell you my story. I will be posting more videos through my recovery after my surgery every day. I will look for them. I will be posting a video every single day after my surgery to let you know how did it go and how I feel, and you know, the recovery time exactly of what I'm going through. Mind you, it's different for everybody, but I just got to share my experiences. The reason is because when I did go on the internet to look for these problems, I didn't find a lot of answers. And I just want to say that if you are dealing with lower back pain, or if you are dealing with the sciatica issue, or you are dealing, you know, with the pinched nerve issue reflected to sciatica, if you have pain going down your left leg or right leg, I can only talk about the legs. I can't talk much about the arms or the upper part of the body, because I think that affects the neurology, the brain part of it. For me, it affects my legs. So I'm going to basically talk about the legs. If you feel any sort of pain and you don't know where it's coming from, and you think you might have gotten a sprained ankle, or you don't know, then consider that you might have sciatica and go to the doctor, get yourself checked out. You know, if your pain is a 10, on a scale from 1 to 10, you need help. If you don't have health insurance and you don't have anything, I understand you take medication and it's hard to deal with these things. But this problem has affected my life so bad that I'm in just a situation right now that I'm not working. I took time off of work. You know, I gotta get the surgery done, otherwise I'm no good to anyone. And I've got to get healthy, and that's the way it is. So after the surgery, I don't know what's going to happen. If it's physical therapy, if I'm be back on my feet in a week, I don't know. I know that the 29th I'll be going to surgery at 5 a.m. in the morning. I have to be there at the hospital, and they told me I'll probably, it's not a overnight stay. They told me depending on the situation, it might be 2 in the afternoon, 3 in the afternoon, or depending on how I'm feeling, I could be overnight. I don't know. It just depends on everybody's different. But you know, there ain't a lot of stuff out there on YouTube, and hopefully this will help you. I also attached a video to this that I thought was very helpful in explaining most of the issues of sciatica, the way it starts and the way how to diagnose it. Hope this helps you. Look for my videos every day. If you folks want to comment, please comment. I'll be happy to answer any questions I can. But at the moment, one thing I want to add also is that you might think there's an easy fix. You might think that take painkillers, and you might think you know, take over-the-counter stuff, or you might think get patches for your back, or you might think you know, wrap myself in a ace bandage, put creams on my leg. You know, it's all a waste of money. Okay, nothing is going to work. It's just prolonging the surgery. You know, you're going to need it. So that's basically what I want to say. So, you know, look out for the rest of the videos. I'll keep you up, you know, knowing about my prognosis and everything. And at the moment, have a good Thanksgiving. Hope everybody out there is healthy and doing well. And please support the video, and any links that I have attached and any comments will be greatly appreciated. Thank you.
This video is to explain to you exactly what happens with sciatica and how it begins anatomically. What you're looking at right now is a front view of the lower spine and pelvis area. And what we see here, this is what's called the iliac bone. You have one on each side. This is the pubic bone. This triangular bone here is the sacrum. This is the last disc. This would be typically the L5-S1 disc, the L4-L5 disc. These are the nerves that are branching off from the spine. And you'll see that there's a big nerve down in here, and that is what's called the sciatic nerve. The sciatic nerve, as you can see, is made up of branches of several other nerves that come off in the lower spine. The ones that are of most note in terms of sciatica are these last two nerves that branch off from the lumbar spine. And you'll see that those two nerves join together and then form part of the sciatic nerve on each side. And the reason why these are of the biggest importance in terms of sciatica is the vast majority of cases of sciatica are due to problems with the discs. Now from the front view we can't really see why this is the problem, but we'll see in just a moment when we turn the spine over. Now this is the back view of the spine, and again here's the sacrum, triangular bone here, the iliac bones on each side. These, by the way, are the femurs, the top of the thigh bone, where they attach in to the pelvis at the hip joint. And here are the sciatic nerves where they're coming out of the pelvis, which we saw where they began in the front side of the pelvis a moment ago. In this view we can't really see too much as far as where the problems occur with discs, because from this side we see just the back joints of the spine and where the nerves are exiting. But if we turn the spine on its side, we can see that the openings where the nerves come out are right up against where the discs are. And if you have a bulge or a herniation of that disc, it'll push up against that nerve and it can start to create pain and inflammation, which then is transmitted all the way down the sciatic nerve, which then goes all the way down the leg. In some cases, you'll primarily get the sciatica symptoms in the buttock area, where the sciatic nerve first forms and comes out of the pelvis. And in more severe cases, it will extend all the way down the leg. The other thing that occurs in sciatica is that there is a muscle called the piriformis. And you may, in your studies on sciatica, have heard something called piriformis syndrome. Well, piriformis syndrome is named after a muscle that runs from the sacrum over to the hip, kind of like this piece of paper. And you'll notice that it's in proximity to the sciatic nerve right here. Well, what happens is that in some people, it'll be arranged pretty much like this. The muscle will be over the top of the sciatic nerve, and the nerve will then go down the leg from there. In other cases, the nerve may actually go on top of the piriformis and run down the leg that way. And then in some instances, the nerve will actually split the piriformis muscle, and it'll start to go right between the muscle fibers. In this orientation of the nerve, what will happen in some cases is if you get tightness of the piriformis muscle, it will actually squeeze on the sciatic nerve and cause true sciatica that way by actually irritating the sciatic nerve. In the other arrangements of the piriformis, the muscle itself can develop knots of contraction that cause a referred pain that is very similar to sciatica. It will also run down the leg, but it's not a true nerve irritation, it's actually a referred pain. In either case, this is usually referred to as piriformis syndrome. And piriformis syndrome is more of a muscular problem rather than being a direct nerve type of problem. And there's a different way of handling this than there is with disc herniation types of sciatica. This is to give you a little better idea of what happens with the disc and its impingement on the nerve, which then results in sciatica. This model here is of a normal section of the lumbar spine, and what you'll see here is that we have nice thick plump discs, but they're well contained and there's lots of space around that nerve for it to move and so that it doesn't get irritated. This model over here shows a degenerated piece of spine, and it also shows a disc herniation. That's that red swollen area right there. And as you can see, that disc herniation is actually pushing up against that nerve, and it's actually narrowing the opening for that nerve to come out. And so it's this actual mechanical pressure on the nerve, plus you'll get swelling and inflammation around that area that also creates pressure. And those combined forces create a lot of pressure on that nerve root where it comes off the spine and creates a lot of irritation, which then translates into the pain that we call sciatica. We're going to be talking a little bit more about how a normal spine goes from this to this degenerated phase in a later video, but for now just realize that it's the disc and or swelling pressure on the nerve that then irritates it and causes the pain, which, if this is one of those lower two nerve roots we talked about earlier, that feeds into the sciatic nerve and you'll feel the pain in the buttock and or all the way down the leg.